All right, I am making this video to demonstrate a striped I-cord bind off, which you can do with stripes of different sizes, 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, whatever, but I'm going to do 1 row for the sake of demonstration. And I'll start, you can see I have a tiny little thing works up here. I'll start by using, I think, my periwinkle yarn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tip of my right hand needle, insert it between the first 2 stitches on my left hand needle. This is the cable cast on. I'm going to take the color I want to begin with my stripes with, knit it, and then place that stitch on the tip of my needle. I'm going to do the same thing again. Insert the tip of my needle between the stitch I just added and the first stitch of my original work. Knit that, pull it up, place it on, and then one more time. So now I've added 3 stitches, and then I'll begin my bind off. Now, since I'm doing a single color stripe, I'm going to move to my white yarn now. So in order to change colors, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go as if to knit that first stitch. I'm going to do an intarsia color change, which is I'm going to wrap it with the color I don't want. And then you might need to kind of hold it out of the way sometimes. And then I'm going to actually knit that stitch with the color I do want. And what that does is create a twist in the yarn so they're together. And then I can just knit the next stitch ordinarily. And then as you can see, I'm down to where I had that one original stitch and then my third of my cable cast on stitches. To do the bind off, I knit those together. So just a plain knit 2 together. Then I'm going to take these stitches, I'm going to slip them back to my left hand needle purlwise so they don't get twisted, and I'm going to switch colors. To do that, again, I'm going to go to knit that first stitch. I'm going to wrap it with the yarn I don't want to use. I'm going to knit it with the yarn I do. Knit the first stitch. As you can see, they're just twisted. That's all that does here. I'm using my thumb to hold it out of the way. Sometimes that makes it easier. I'm going to knit my second stitch, and then I'm going to knit the next 2 together and slip those stitches back to my left hand needle. And then again, I'm going to color change by wrapping it first with the one I don't want and then knitting with the one I do. If you do this wrapping method, by the way, you will hide your yarn inside of your I-cord. So knit 2 together. So you have a seamless look for changing colors. Anyway, slip them back onto the left hand needle, and then I'll change colors yet again by inserting my needle as if to knit, wrapping with the yarn I don't want, knitting with the yarn I do want, knit 1, knit 2, knit 2 together. The reason I chose to do such a short, tiny sample here is because often the I-cord bind off doesn't look like much until you work it a few times. So hopefully by the time I get to the end here, you will be able to see the effect of that striping more clearly. And there you can see that you have this cute little I-cord at the top of your work, striped in a single stripe.